Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Oh, welcome to this absolutely special edition of the Oddities D&D. I am Jason. I'm your semi-host for the evening. I'll probably trade off that cap to some of the people in the crowd here. But yes, welcome. This is the first time we're doing something like this that is not the D&D campaign. We're actually talking a little bit behind the scenes today about the art that accompanies a lot of our characters and everything like that, and everything that went into it. Maybe some character thoughts and creation process from the artiste and the lowly, humanoids that kind of puppet them a bit. So yeah, hey. So without that, let's go around real quick just to introduce everybody. In case this is your first time checking this out, we will start in the top corner. Rose, played by...
Hey. It's so funny because you say top corner, but like on Discord, I'm on a different corner.
Yeah.
So this is always a surprise to me.
It's all bass backwards.
Hi, my name is Fred, and today I don't have a weird intro. It's Thursday. It's a weird day. So I just play Rose. She's a very special character with a very special past.
Yes. And then the opposite top corner, we're going to go to Viri, played by...
Hi, I'm Ari, aka Ghost Figs. I feel like a cow being spun around in a tornado for cinematic value tonight. But I'm here, and I play the aforementioned Viria, Hexblade Warlock.
Before we go on to the next person, I just want to say I cannot wait for even a one shot by Ari, because the words that come out of her face hole are so glorious every week. I'm just, speak to me more, mommy.
Mommy? Mommy? I thought you were going to
I'll
say
take
my
it.
muse, but mommy, okay.
I'm just trying to get with the kids these days. So
Getting it all out after his PG-13 stream yesterday.
Oh, I flubbed that one up. Anyway, without further ado, the crown jewel of this particular stream tonight, in the bottom corner, Cult, played by...
I'm Chuck, also known as @Productighoul on the twerts.
Yes.
I don't think I'm the star. But
you're going to be highlighted big time throughout the evening
no,
tonight.
you are the star.
Yes.
Of today's
I'm-
stream.
Goodbye. It's too much attention. No, that's fine. I just put some marks on some digital papers and hope they look like things.
Sure.
Take the freaking comment. No. And right now, temporarily, we are missing one member of our crew, which is the lovely Nagheim, played by Xander. They will be joining us shortly, so bear with us. And in place, you get to see the first time we all played together, Xander, which has rainbow-colored hair and is hiding behind a book because they heard me speak for the first time, and I scared the bejesus out of everybody.
We were all we're
so
just
precious.
vibrating.
Yeah. Oh, that's a picture I would love to tweet one day, where someone had the good sense, because I was just completely scared of all of you and about doing a good job, that I was so focused. I had the script over here and I was just looking over here. Their faces and reactions were over on this screen. I didn't see any of it. So I was just like, don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up. And someone had the good sense to print screen and captured the screenshot of all of their faces. And I have it as a desk screensaver now, because it is the best thing to look at all the time. Yeah. And it was the perfect moment to kick off this whole campaign. Love it. Anyway.
You blew our minds with that intro.
Yeah, that was.
I remember the first
Oh
time,
my God.
out of control.
I'll say this for you and everybody in the chat room right now.
You haven't seen anything yet.
With that,
Every single time.
we are going to show off some of the character art that Chuck has graced us with. Oh, guys, I can't. I need Ari words to describe how amazing it is to have Chuck amongst us, and just constantly, when she doodles, we pee our pants with excitement. Hey!
Speaking of peeing your
There
pants,
we go!
It's like I waited my cue.
Right on time.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love
Sweet
it.
wizard.
So,
Hello.
to
I'm
cap
alive.
off the quartet, Nagheim has joined us, played by. Introduce yourself. Say something.
Zan.
There we go. I don't want to hold this pose.
Pause for dramatic effect.
We are a well-oiled machine, everybody.
Oiled, yes.
Thanks, Hannah. There we go.
All right, let's.
Oiled.
You know what? I
Oh, God.
use lubricants than oil-based, but you do you.
All right.
Water-based for sure.
I'm just gonna pretend that I can carry on a conversation now. So, so
I mean,
yes.
you know a lot about lubricants, don't you?
As a massage
massage
therapist,
Oh,
you should
Jesus.
definitely understand the properties of lubricants and their importance.
Now, as
Yes.
a masseuse.
Don't you dare.
Therapist.
I will start taking away
RMT.
points of inspiration like you've never seen before.
I'll dig them out so I can get rid of them.
I'll tell you what, this is a side note. I actually discovered what it's like for a client to hit on you finally. Yeah.
It's work.
Yeah, and it's funny, you say lubricants and all that kind of stuff. The first thing was that they said to me, you have the softest hands in the world. And I didn't pick up on that because I get that comment a lot. And I kind of blow it off by saying like jokes about, guys think I'm a wuss and girls don't think I work for a living. And it just went on from there. And it was just like comment after comment. Like, do you have a girlfriend? Do you have a wife? Do you have kids? Oh, we get along so well. And I'm like, you're creeping me out. So my heart belongs to another. It's called the Oddities. Anyway.
Married to all of us.
Yes.
Disgusting.
Xander just pieces out. All right. Well, let's get into the topic of choice for this particular stream. We're going to show off some of the lovely art that Chuck has created all this time. And like I was saying, we are so lucky to have her. Every time she does a little doodle or does a finished piece, from start to finish, we get to see the creative process and we get to just gush about it like every step of the way. It just gets better and better and better. And once we think it's as good as it can be, she throws something else at us and it's just phenomenal each and every time. So without further ado, we're going to show off some of that art with the Oddities group shot. And that button didn't work.
Oh no.
Okay, hang on. You're gonna see some funny stuff here, guys. Let's see if that worked. One more
Eating,
time.
by the way.
Hey, there it is.
Do we get it? Do we get it?
I got it. I just had to refresh something. So, here we go. This is the original
There
shot.
we are.
The original crew, the OG of the Oddities when we started off from day one. So, who wants to kick off talking about this particular piece and what went into it? Chuck, good.
Yeah. Well, I'm just looking at it on my phone right here.
Mm-hmm.
Also, thanks to Fred for putting together the new all the new stuff. She
Yeah.
did
MVP.
stuff. Okay, focus. So, I can't even remember who I drew first. Probably Cults because it's who I knew the best, obviously, because I play him. And I got the whole team to pretty much send me just references of what they think their character would look like. Zan actually already previously had art for me to work with, so that was good. But what I really didn't realize is the two cosplayers we have and the fashionista, and they sent me exact items that they wanted to include, and it was so helpful. As an artist, sometimes we get these really loose interpretations. They're like, I want whimsy. And I'm like, what does whimsy look like to you? How does whimsy work as a practical thing? I'm a very practical artist. I like things that look like what they should look like. That's just me. I'm not very abstract at all. So, looking back at this, they feel just like little toys that someone just made, and they don't have their personalities yet because I didn't really know you guys that well, and we didn't know the characters that well. But I think I did a pretty good job. Leather pants, I can tell you. I drew 3 pairs of leather pants. And leather is actually a lot easier than I thought. And I do enjoy painting it. But let's focus a little bit more here. Well, I'm going to say let's go left to right.
Okay, we'll start with Rose.
We'll start with Rose.
You bet.
That's
I-
me.
I loved the reference that I got for Rose immediately. She was so cute to start with, and then the fear struck when when Fred said, and she's covered in tattoos, and it's like, oh no, I have to design tattoos, which is okay because I have a background in that. But then we worked together, and she let me give ideas about it, and we just sort of grew. You'll get to see if you go to our Twitter account, the Oddities. I'm losing my mind right now.
The Oddities D&D.
It's
Yeah.
also
Thank
linked
you.
in our about.
Yeah.
There you go. You can see all the new artwork and all the stages of dress, so underwear to full clothes. So you
Mhm.
can see all the tattoos that I designed for Rose eventually. And just talking to Fred and getting to know Fred, I I knew there was going to be a smile there. A big or little happy barbarian.
Yeah.
We always treat Rose like she's really big, but she's just really buff.
You know, and
Yeah,
I'll,
so
sorry,
Rose
go
is
ahead.
5'4".
Mhm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you really capture that like essence of like someone who's not really tall but has a lot of energy and kind of like wee.
The big personality in the small
Yeah.
package.
Yeah. I'll tell you one
Uh,
little detail that sold me right away, because when you were showing me this art design and everything like that, most of you, like, I knew Chuck from way back when, but even us, we were trying to like reconnect. I didn't know anybody, so I was like looking at the art and trying to pick up on like, okay, what does this say about them? What am I getting from it? And the one thing that sold me on this was that Chuck said that the design for the axe came from the game God of War. And I was like, she knows God. I love this girl. I can't wait.
oh my god. Okay, I'm so sorry, Jason. I've never played God of War, but I do
Oh no,
know
that's
of it.
fine.
I found it, and I thought it was a great base because it was a bearded axe, and I love the
Mhm.
look of a bearded axe. But
Right
Fred,
on.
do you have any notes?
So fun fact, the like face of Rose and actually the inspiration for the character Rose came from an Instagram model, an influencer on Instagram, and I was just really captivated by her. And then I kind of like built a character around like what would this person be in a fantasy world? And we sort of like together, you and I kind of worked of like, okay, let's not make this a fantasy drawing version of this real life person. And that was also really cool.
Yeah, I use like they're generally called face claims or lookalikes to build facial features. Sometimes it's a lot easier when people try to describe something. I'm like, just give me like a model or celebrity, something where there's a lot of photos and artists out there. Face claims, so important. People who commission other artists, face claims, so important. They're not going to look exactly like this person, but it helps me structure the face from different angles because we're all built in our own way so differently. I have eyes the size of a lizard. and I keep them moist by licking them with my tongue. But not everyone has those eyes, so I can't use my own face for reference. I can for expression because I have a big old grin. But it's really it's so important for me, but not for all artists. Should say everyone works differently. Just to have a little bit of a nudge in this direction. You're like, I really like Tom Hiddleston's nose. I like Liv Tyler's lips, you know, and it just sort of allows us to start envisioning what that character looks like in 3 dimensions.
Rango the lizard's tongue so you can lick your eyeballs.
Gotta keep them moist.
All right. So, going from there, you said left to right. So the next one up is Colt.
Oh my gosh, my boy, my sweet baby child. Oh, look at him. This is old design. Colt started out as a female character and a human. And the more I worked with the face and the hair, the more sometimes a character just feels a certain way. And I'm like, he's a boy. He's a male and he's a half-orc. And I really love this teal color and I love freckles. So that's how we got that sort of the teal thing. And I love playing elves. So why not make him a half-elf orc? And then the black outfit just really stemmed from like, I just want to basically play myself as a teenager again, or a young adult, as it were, because Colt's what, 20 years old?
Mm.
And just to give myself a little nostalgic kick, so I gave him the big cloak, which I've always liked, the draping look, and the fancy hat. I was going for more of a D&D noir look, because I really like that old film noir movies and that really striking look, so I thought the hat would be great. He was going to be a smoker, but I was like, I don't want to draw that. And some of the stuff underneath is kind of military-esque, stemming from his family history, but again, I didn't really know Colt that well. I knew I wanted to give him long dyed hair. That was very important. Because he was trying to separate himself from his past. And yeah, sort of a well-built yet thin rogue.
There you go. There you go.
Slenderman.
So next from there, we go to our lovely non-warlock warlock.
Not a warlock.
Not a warlock.
Now, I had some really nice reference as well. I got great reference from all y'all's, but just these little details, like the scars and the gloves and the pants. I mean, again, leather pants were always fun to do and to get to do them studded.
Mm.
And from what I had learned from Ari was the stoicism. Now, Ari is a funny, goofy, wonderful, imaginative person, and then playing this silent, stoic, terrifying character. So I just and the glow around the eye was one of my favorite things I did at the very end. I almost forgot it. I'm so glad I included it. I did not include it in the new art.
It's okay.
And I think we're gonna.
She has
we're gonna
control
do
over it
some-
now. That's what it is.
We're gonna do some variants, maybe, with some magic stuff. I don't know.
It's subtle.
It was a lot.
One
And
thing I'll throw in there is, like you said, just commenting on Ari's personality versus Viri and how different they are and when they come across. One of my favorite things in game that I try to do at least once a session, and most of the time I get more than once, is to make sure Ari is like in the zone with resting bitch face, and then do something so unbelievably ridiculous that Ari comes out.
I'm a very giggly person.
Yes.
Okay, so sometimes, I mean, I'll corpse, definitely, at least once per session. So,
Yeah. I love it.
like that. Well, I don't know. I'll say a few words maybe. Viria in general was a challenge from me to get out of my D&D comfort zone in a way because I've had experience playing very chaotic and outgoing characters in general. So I was like, okay, no, I want to come up with something and change things up and play like the total opposite of that. And then, yeah, like her entire design in general is just, what if we took this person who's done something and known something her entire life and we take that and yeet that person into like something entirely different, which is magic as a warlock. So yeah, like I wanted to make a warlock who doesn't look or feel like a warlock. I don't know if that makes any sense. Because I really like deconstructing D&D classes in general. Like they all have these stereotypes associated to them. So I was like, okay, like what's the less warlocky warlock I can warlock? And we have Viria.
warlock.
But
And
I don't
that's-
want to say too much because spoilers. But yeah.
And that's a
feel
little
that.
bit of a theme going through the game. I can say that at least I've picked up on a little bit, and that I try to do as well. Is when Chuck was saying with cult, you wanted to do a half elf, but you didn't want to just do the standard half elf with humanoid kind of thing. You wanted to take in like different races and everything like that. Because most people, when they do half elf, it is literally dominant to the humanoid elf. But here you brought in the orcish type, and it could be half dwarven, half elfish, it could be half orc, half dwarf. Who knows, like these things could come about. And same thing with you, Viri, like just deconstructing the class itself. And this, I don't know if anyone's picked up on it, and I don't try to like focus on it, but one thing when I'm creating the NPCs for the game as well is that I try to flip as much as I can the expected roles that have been consistent with D&D. So there's someone who's in a place of power for authority. It's usually like some, "Oh, here I come." No, I wanted a woman to be that place. When it comes to a blacksmith, you think the burly dwarf with like the scarred
Olive.
hands. No, I made that a woman too, And we go to the fashion shop where it's the fashionista kind of district. No, we're going to make that a man,
And a gnome.
Yeah. So that's one thing I try to keep in mind when I'm creating these things, because I think that includes more people. And what's better is that I hope nobody out there even notices it because it's a
Yes.
norm. You know what I mean? So anyway, off my high horse. Here we go. Last but not least, we have this lovely person. More tattoos, I see.
Oh, sweet Nagheim, my sliver wizard. I did a very beefy version off the bat because it's just, again, didn't quite know the characters yet, and I draw beefy dudes a lot, so and those tattoos, I'd already known how to do that gold fleck look, and that was really fun for me. But I did have to pick at you a little. I'm like, what do you want? What do you want? Come on, give me. I don't care. Whatever. Just make it to do a time.
That's when I commissioned it the first time. I was like, hey, this is how I feel about this. You're also the artist. I want you to give your interpretation.
And you loved every idea
I did.
we talked about, and it was so invigorating to be able to, like, just when we were riffing off each other for what if we do this. I love that, and how about a little bit of this? So you're like, perfect, and it was so easy to work with. And leather pants, man.
Look,
I love leather pants.
leather pants are one of my favorite things to sew. So
Okay.
well,
They are
leather.
so fun to sew.
They're fun to sew.
They are so fun.
So I like to include leather pants a lot with my designs because it's something I personally enjoy sewing, and I actually own a few pairs of leather pants, and I like wearing them. So I just like incorporating it.
It was so good. And the white coat, was that to sort of go along with the white hair because that was one thing I don't see a lot in like your classic character design is white coats. You see a lot
Moon
of
Knight coming to
cloaks.
Disney Plus soon.
Like you see a lot of like dark cloaks and greens and purples and the darker tones, and then this little fish out of water, who's gone to see the world is like, yep, I'll blend in. It worked so well.
I love the archetype of not all drow. I love that. That's why I was really drawn towards playing a drow, as well as a lot of times people view drow as they're elves, but they're less than. And as somebody who is in a bit more of a minority as being non-binary and being in a community of a lot of the community doesn't accept who I am still. So I was like, I want to do something completely out there instead of trying to be a stealthy drow that has like a mean streak. I wanted to be this person who wants there to be good but still doesn't understand everything and still has their own issues. And I felt like wearing bright colors and wearing white shows that like innocence that's still there, trying to be clung on to without being innocent.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a lot of trying to represent myself, even though I tend to wear mostly dark colors, ignoring the fact that I'm wearing orange right now. And I wanted to do something that's just was so different from me, but also still represented me and what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to show. So I thought having just the white robe and having them be a perfectionist and wanting to keep everything clean and not understanding that you're gonna get dirty was a thing.
What's the best spell in the world? Prestidigitation.
So
Prestidigitation, best cantrip ever.
Oh, constantly. Oh, that was perfect music cue.
I know, right?
Oh
And
my
with
God.
that, we're going to shuffle over to dun, 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 the newest crew. So this happened just before our ball event, which if you guys haven't seen that and you are new to this stream, if you want a starting off point, I mean, every episode is just gold as far as I'm concerned, but I'm biased. But the ball episode, whole nother level for all of us. It was
Bangarang.
so damn good. And I can't lie, every episode following that, I had like, why am I talking about? Okay, I'll try and make this quick because it's art show. But
No,
like,
it's all encompassing. We're talking about the game.
And
Fair
your,
enough.
I can only
enough.
prattle on
It
about
is-
the art.
your GM skills are considered art.
okay,
so.
well, let's back it up a little bit.
Really? Quite so agreed.
Okay, so there was like a slight fear when that one came out, and we all kind of took a breath. We looked back at it and we were like, that was the high bar for us. And I came away from that feeling like really satisfied with what we all did. And then I thought, oh shit, we got to top that somehow. How do we do that? But crazy enough, we've only had 2 episodes since then, and both I've felt like they are just as good as the ball, because I think we finally crested over that part in a storyline where all the characters have that comfort, and us as a group, we all have that comfort. You know, there's security in knowing like how far you can take things and like which direction you can go. There's less hesitation with us. We're not as like guarded or anything like that. So that has helped this story kind of go along, and now every episode feels like it's just getting better and better and better and better. And I think we needed some big event like that ball thing to kick us all into gear, and it's been phenomenal ever since. And we were actually talking before this stream, because one thing I should point out that we didn't at the top, as of this week, we became affiliates on Twitch, which is a huge, huge accomplishment for all of us. We are so stoked about it. And what that's going to mean, we're going to figure it out later weeks. So, but for now, we're pretty high.
The problem for future us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
We'll
future
take
us
care of
can
that
worry
later.
about that.
But one thing we were slightly talking about is that none of us really have the expectation of becoming a next Critical Role or a next Dimension 20 or anything like that. But because we were doing little comparisons and just saying like, oh, see, like they started off as like a pen and paper thing, just like us, and look where it took them. So never say never. But I do want to say before we get back into the art is that we did accomplish one thing that Critical Role does better than anybody right now, is that we were a bunch of friends that just came together. We played a game, and yeah, it just became something magical for all of us, much like it did for Critical Role. So in that respect, we won.
Oh, we went big time,
Yeah.
baby.
Certainly.
It was-
just
That was a nat
scratches
20 on that one.
to like create and
Mhm.
have fun, and it's just like a highlight in the week at this point. It's like, oh, is it Sunday evening yet? Because I just want to like
Oh my
play
God,
D&D with
yeah.
my friends.
And then every day in between is like, oh my god, I thought about this about my character. I thought about this about your character. I've made this little playlist for our characters. I've done this doodle. Oh my god, it's so good. And I do want to say we do have a fantastic person in chat right now.
Yes.
Because we made affiliate, we are going to be offering Oddities emojis.
Mm-hmm.
And my dearest, dear good friend, Nicola Nora in chat, is designing them for us. It's gonna be so good. We've gotten to see some
So
preliminaries.
excited.
And you're all gonna lose your
We all
minds.
freaked.
Oh my god. We lost our shit. They were so good within, I think, hours of saying, hey, are you interested in doing this? We had preliminary sketches.
I
And
They were
got these
perfect.
sketches while I was at
No
work.
feedback.
Yeah, I got them and I was looking through, and every person who walked into the staff room, I took my phone and was like, look at this! Look how cute this is! Oh my God! And they're like, I don't know what this I didn't, I'm
I
so
don't know
stoked.
what this is, but
Yeah.
good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, my coworkers are lucky I was off on COVID quarantine because every time I get art or my friends post art or anything, I all but grab their head and shove it into my phone. So when it's art about that involves me in any way with my ego, I like make my phone meet their face halfway, leave an imprint of the art. Like
Yeah.
they are so lucky.
That's
That
really
I was-
impressive. It's a
You're
flat
lucky you get to
screen.
share with someone. I work from home, and like
I force
anytime
them.
I get art
Aw.
and everything, I have to like, I'll be working and then I'll get like a Discord ping and I'll look over, and then I'll like freak out and I'll actually have to like get up, do like a walk around the apartment just because I have to get like the excitement out, and I'll sit back down and then I'll freak all over Discord. But yeah, I do
Oh
that.
my
I do
goodness.
the walk thing like every single time.
Ari's
Every
cat Tally is like the one person who gets like all the screenshots afterwards. They're sick of us at this point.
If I can set like my partner,
Mm.
every time Chuck has ever sent me art in progress and anything like that, I'm like screaming at him. He's like a foot away from me, maximum. And I am screaming.
Oh my god, I
Yeah.
can see it in my head.
I know. And every time he's instantly over my shit.
I've seen it before, so that's why it's even funnier.
You can perfectly visualize it.
Yeah, anyone who knows
Yeah.
Sanders' partner,
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty easy to
The
visualize.
dynamic.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
Nora, if you want to share your Twitter in chat,
Please.
let the people
Please
see
do.
some of your art because it's brilliant. I have been lucky enough to kind of be partners with Nora for years at this point. We got together
Partners.
doing a coloring book for Critical Role way back in the day before COVID. As well as we created 2 characters that fell in love and got married. And so there's
Aw.
tons and tons. There's so much artwork that we've created together, and I have so much fun with them, and I value them in my life every day.
Yay.
Back
Oh,
to me now.
all the love. Yes. Because we got to talk about the transition from the original art. And as you can see here, like we were talking about, we get to a certain point and we get comfortable with each other. We get to understand these characters. Now we get to see a little more personality, a little more depth to each of their costume designs and their direction. Cult.
This was so, I don't want to say more fun for me, but it was definitely easier because knowing the personality, any artist who does commissions knows it's a little hard to take a real brand new concept and you don't know anything about this character and draw them. Now, I knew where I wanted Cult to go with his look. Played him as a straight up classic rogue because that's what he wanted to be, but it's not who he was. So it was really the part and parcel go, like when we went to the ball, Cult got to basically rediscover his roots and thus back into the almost Victorian era look, which I'm a huge history nerd. I love watching those shows. I love looking at the costumes. I love all of that stuff. So I went with sort of a real Victorian with the riding boots and the high-waisted pants, the military coat because of the family. He was supposed to go into the military, and then cutting his hair off because he had a panic attack and was like, my parents are already going to kill me. I better look at least presentable before they kill me. So that's the shorter hair back to the original Cult look. And I just love him so much. He's my favorite soft boy.
All of us love him so much.
Oh.
I just love all of you so much.
I know.
Oh, God.
Oh,
All
Go away,
right.
demon voice.
grumpy GM.
So
Oh,
that's a
and
little
I
bit
do
about
want-
new Cult. What? Sorry?
Are we going to do all the a little bit about all of our characters and then go in for details? Because there are some details I would like to.
Oh, yeah. Who do you want to go with first for that? Do you want you?
Well, no. Yeah, let's finish. Let's wrap with Cult and then we can move on.
Sure.
If you want to go to the hand, Jason, you know what I'm
Not the crotch, people. The hand.
Not the crotch.
To the
people,
left.
The hand. That's a different thing.
Yeah, not the crotch.
so-
Oh no.
Okay, I'm
The
moving
hand
it up
on
now.
the left side, for viewers left where the sword hilt is. Jason gave me the mentor's hand from Durant, sexy Durant, and so I thought, what better way to illustrate that than make it a hand? That if it ever comes up, I have like a little flavor for how it works due to the description. You can look up mentor's hand, I think, or is that an original design from you, Jason?
If I added anything to it, it was very minor. And I think it was more so in game where I added my own flair. But that is something that I found online. And when I read that, like, I'm that kind of nerd that just like surfs through like, hey, what are some cool weapon ideas? And hey, let's look into this homebrew stuff. And who's got some good ideas? How many likes does this have? And when I read through it, if anything, the sword may have had additional things or not enough things, and I maybe added or took away from one or two. But no, that's on D&D Beyond Homebrew, I believe, is where I found that.
Yeah, and so it basically guides the user, and you get some stuff with it. But next to the sword, you see Cult's hand making a little symbol because Jason did the clasp sign. So because he speaks thieves' cant, I thought that's a cute little Easter egg just to pop in there. And no one noticed until I pointed it out. It was like, that's exactly what you want. You were like, check it out.
Now, you thought I was freaking out around work showing everybody before. When you dropped that bomb on me, I had to go into like deep dive nerd things about how this is like a symbol from a show that I loved, and you picked up on what that was, and then you put it into the art and all the D&D. I just had like, it was one of those like childhood things where you get so excited and then you forget, somewhere you have to breathe in a sentence and then your mouth is really dry and then I became that kid again.
That was so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the lighter colors with the lighter tones and then the colored jacket. It's just sort of Colt kind of accepting he can be what he wants to be, but he can also take along who he was and sort of marry them all together. And God, he's just a dashing.
Mm-hmm.
He's a
And
real
that's-
darling.
Yes.
He's
Oh,
darling.
point of inspiration. All right. So next up in that row would have been, nope, not that one. We transitioned from that lovely lady to this adorable little thing.
Oh.
What?
Hey.
Hey.
Hey!
There she is. Rose, talk us through, or Fred, talk us through Rose. Because we did some changes, but not tons.
Yes.
Mm.
So I think I just really wanted to go more for like, okay, this was level 1 Rose. What would like someone who's been fighting and hanging out with now has a little bit more money? What would she wear? So really what we upgraded was the blouse under. The cape is the same, it just looks a little bit different because it's draped differently on her. The pants are the same, the boots are the same. What's different is also the belt and the sash. So added a little bit of pizzazz, and the blouse is, we can't see it here, but if you go on our Twitter, you can see the version without the cape. It's also open chest, and you can see Rose's tattoo, and I thought that was like a really fun, but like on the nose metaphor about Rose starting to open up, starting to show her tattoos, starting to like show who she is.
I thought we were just boob window twins.
I know.
I just, you know,
There was
she was going for, I'm Rose, but sexier.
She's just hoping for a breeze to kind of go by and then it's like flash. Ah.
No, it was really just a tiny bit of a metaphor, but like she's still hiding. That's why the cape is there, in case you haven't figured that one out yet. But yeah, that's Rose.
I like that. It didn't even occur to me. I love the gold sash. Looks so nice with the purple cape, and painting this sort of shirt and sort of glamming her up. I made the shirt look a little bit more expensive, a little bit more shiny, silken, and yeah, I really enjoyed doing the tattoos as well. We had already kind of started planning it way, way, way back when we first started, and I had discovered a lot of shortcuts between then and now, so it was painless. Important tip, artists with tattoos: make them big and just get reference. You don't need to put a lot of thought. Just make them huge and just slap them on your characters. You can see them from a mile away, and that's the best way to do little pictures that are only this big on your screen. Then they're bigger than life.
Now, one thing I will mention, just because I like, oh, excuse me. Albert's got some tummy grumbling going on. One thing I will mention, and I didn't mention it with Cult, but I'll mention it with Rose because this stands out a little bit more to me. Like you said about, when we met Fred, we knew kind of like how her personality was, and you want to put a little bit of that into Rose. So she was very much like, I'm going to take on the world, just bright, shining child. Even though she's got the smirk and the axe over the shoulder, it's this foot kind of idea going on here where it's just like she's still playful in that fun little way, and it's just the body language in all the characters now, how much more it conveys like who we know them to be.
Artists will agree with me, casual poses are so painful to do because you're trying to make something look natural and relaxed, and that's really hard to convey. So just reference. Don't lie to yourself, just reference. Yeah, make it your own, but find your reference first. And that the hip hop and then the little hang dog foot, So Rose.
Yeah.
Very
Absolutely
Rose.
love it. Next
It's just
up
like
from-
sassy. It's Rose.
Oh, it's very sassy.
well, going from sassy pants Rose to oh my god.
Grumpy pants.
Do.
No, she's not grumpy. She's stoic.
Stoic.
Terrible.
Eeyore.
Eeyore.
Oh.
Eeyore was the MVP. What do you mean?
I know, which is
Don't
why
say this like
Viri
it's
is
a
the
bad thing.
MVP. Okay,
There we go.
saves your butt every time.
Someone has to.
Yeah. Well, notes about Viri. I mean, the obvious thing was the armor.
Mhm.
I mean, in the redesign, like armor was a given because in game I had commissioned a special set of armor from Trixie, who is an enchanter in Western that Jason plays wonderfully. And I mean, obviously armor. I'd say, like, in a metaphorical way, Viria is, without giving away too much, kind of gearing up for battle mentally. And I'm really excited until we get to find out more about that. And yeah, I mean, I sent like some ideas and little sketches and reference to Chuck, and she did a wonderful job just making something of it. And then for like the other clothes, I figured because she's a Hexblade Warlock and she's on the front lines a lot, she probably just needed a new set of clothes. And when Chuck asked me like, "Oh, what kind of outfit would she be wearing under her armor?" I just went Geralt.
Yes. Yes.
Which, oh darn, I have to look at tons of pictures of girl poo. Oh, what a nightmare.
Oh, and I
And,
have
you
to
know,
go to the
hey,
subway
are
and like,
you?
you know, do
And I-
Henny Cavill as well.
It's
You know,
just-
just to
yeah.
see. And what if Viri went, you know, bare chested just one time? You know, well, let's check out Harry and Cavill and just like, yeah.
Mm.
So-
One thing I love about this outfit was the reference that you sent me is a love of ours is Dragon Age. And so I got to look into a lot of inspiration there. We are thirsty for Dragon Age. So
Dragon Age 4 win.
I sort of mix that fantasy again with the historical because I love history. People, get into history. Learn about what our world is all about, what has happened in the past. It's very important. And some of the clothing is the best I've ever seen. So we did the armor, and then I was like, I need her to look bigger. And I had a lot more, I felt like I had a lot more freedom this time because I knew the characters and we'd been working together and playing together and becoming friends, becoming close. And so I felt like well, I'm just going to suggest things and do this. And everyone was like, oh God, yes, do that. And I was like, yeah. So I dipped into my Game of Thrones bag and pulled out some fur, and we wanted that fur cowl just to beef up that look a little bit more. But I like it without the armor, or without the cowl or the fur shrug, and the armor just on its own is really good. And the scars, again,
Mhm.
go to our Twitter, check out some of the scars. Scars are so fun to do as an artist, when you remember them. Because I forget all the time. I've done whole comics where I'm like, oh, I forgot all the tattoo scars on characters. Well, never mind. Once it's released, it's released. I'm not going back.
Well, you know, it's one thing to forget scars, but I mean, at least you didn't forget like glowing eyes or anything like that. So, going down a little bit here.
What was that?
You know what?
Hey.
You know what? You know what? I changed my mind. Viria's no longer an Asmar. She's just a human now.
There you go. It's way more interesting
maybe
to
the
be
eyes
human.
don't glow all the time, you
That's
know?
what I
It's a
said,
rude
yes.
assumption.
Well, I mean, designing Viria from the get-go, she was an Aasimar, but she wasn't like the obvious angelic, like, look at me, I'm an angel, and I glow, and I have a halo, and everything. Not that there's anything wrong with that. We
Yeah,
love
unlike
Yanni,
Fred in real
we love
life,
Yasha,
yeah.
But yeah, I didn't want it to be like an overtly, like, an overt reverence to her being Asmar. It's very subtle. It's just little things.
Mhm.
Yeah, and Viria is
So
still discovering. It's like a very tightly packed onion that we're just chipping away at the first layer.
Yeah. Now, before we
Dig
move
after the
on,
paper layer.
before we move on to our next character art, I want to talk about this sword. Where did this come from, and what was the inspiration there?
Oh my god, I would have to find it. It's a
Wasn't-
piece. Did you send it to me? Do you know
it's
what it is?
it's an art station model I really liked, and I sent to you. I
Mhm.
remember. I just don't remember what exactly it's from.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
There's just
We
something
like the-
familiar about it, and I meant to ask you guys like ages ago. But
I
I thought-
have it
It
in
may be
somewhere in my
Dark
reference.
Souls, maybe.
I
I
was gonna
don't.
say, if you
Maybe.
also played
Yeah.
World of Warcraft, it shares a lot of the same elements as the Lich King's sword.
Hmm.
Mm.
So the whole base where around the hilt has the exact same shape. So if you played WoW,
Here, if I
that
search.
could
It might
remind-
be-
It reminds you of.
Not ArtStation, Sketchfab. Sorry, I don't know why I mentioned
Oh, here.
ArtStation.
Artoria's sword.
Yeah,
That is
so it
Dark
is a Dark
Souls.
Souls thing.
Okay.
That's why
Yeah,
it
I
was
was right.
bugging me. I'm like, I know that from somewhere, but
Yeah.
where? Thank you.
Yeah.
You scratched
I
a mental
use-
itch.
I use those as my bases because drawing swords is hard. and then I sort of changed up a little bit, but the basic shape is the same. But I always try to change it. I'm like, nah, we're gonna wrap it with leather, or we're gonna put a little indent here. We're gonna make it look all the metal on Viria's outfits it's darker and not extra shiny, because I can't imagine her wearing platinum white gleaming armor, but something a little bit more rough
Hmm.
or a little bit more iron looking.
Nice.
Mhm.
All right, moving on. Last but always never least. Do. I realize now you guys are waiting for the Twitch delay for this to actually show up.
Yeah.
I'm like, why
wait,
is no one
when am I
saying anything?
supposed to
Oh,
stop?
right.
Nagheim's glow up was so fun. Oh my gosh.
Oh, oh my god, there's so
Tell
much.
us more.
It's a lot of it was like the realization of that innocence, even though they've known the tragedies of their past, but they were never connected to it, so it never affected them. But watching the tragedies kind of catch up a bit, watching things happen, knowing people died for them, even someone that they were connected to and attached to, one of their closest friends. You know, Cole.
Me. I died.
It was like, shit, I can't be too stand outish. I can't. The light just had to go. Something more muted needed to be a thing. And being a huge Final Fantasy 14 player, I really liked a lot of the design elements and the outfits there. So I started taking parts of different outfits and then other outfit ideas that I personally love. And like the boob window I have made on many costumes and stuff, and I love how it looks on me, and especially now that Nagheim is more accurately spindly and lanky, it's like I found it just fit everything better, and I feel like there's more of that maturity and just acceptance of where they have to go and how they have to do it. So I wanted to take clothes that still had that vibe of Final Fantasy, like you can always pick out who a Final Fantasy character is because of their outfits. So I still wanted that type of vibe to still be like, yep, that's Nagheim. That there, you know it. But still something more mature and reflecting not just them following their destiny, but them choosing to follow their path. And yeah. And I really wanted to include, like, the golden band was super important to me, just because Nagheim always had those hints of gold, but it's almost like that trying to just seem more polished. Yeah.
I'm like, did I include that?
Yeah,
I did. I did.
I did. Look, it's right there. It says it.
On
Polish.
the specific art too that I asked, and I mean, I did the worst thing for an artist. I don't think I sent a single reference photo. I just typed it all out.
You did. You did after I was like, send me reference. No, you sent me some of the reference photos that you used for the ball, for the outfit at the ball, and so we just sort of took those and just like, okay, and there we go.
But
and
like
so
I
we
did
to
do
the
a heavy
continuation.
description at least, but
You did.
I also still wanted, because I just like with my tattoos, I leave it up to a lot of it up to the artist. So I'm the type where I'm just like, I want it to look like you did it, and I want you to enjoy doing it.
Oh, and I did. Originally, Nagheim was looking ahead, or just off to the side. They didn't have their head turned. But when I was doing the sketch work, I was like, oh my god, one of my favorite ideas that we had was doing the, what's it called? Timepiece?
Oh, the sundial.
The sundial on the side of the head, because it fits really, really well. And I was like, oh gosh, I have to turn their head or else I don't get the sundial in, and we have to do the sundial. And so we got to finally get to see all the tattoos, and then the addition of the finger to the lips. So good in the booby window. Awesome.
And of course,
And then,
my favorite part of this whole thing, twofold, is the inclusion of our beloved familiar Albert.
Yes, I was
And
so happy.
Specifically, the side eye that Nagheim is giving them, which is canon in the game.
oh yeah,
All the time.
because Albert's supposed to be looking like this at the audience.
Yeah.
I love it though. It's so good. I was so happy that Albert was included.
Oh, I couldn't not include. It's Cult's best friend now.
It's true.
I'm just happy to be on the stream. It's lovely.
And I did take some liberties, but
Oh,
no one
shit.
seemed to have a what?
I just realized we totally fucked up. We should have gotten an emoji of Albert.
We still can.
Oh, okay.
Don't
Cool.
worry. I plan on making some emojis myself.
All right,
but
all right.
I wanted our first set to be we want to support artists, independent artists, and spread the love.
Yeah.
But I changed. I think in the original art is the cane black or darker
believe.
toned.
Yeah.
I changed it to white because I needed. There was so much black in the initial outfit without the overcoat, and then there was the purple and gold, and I'm like, I need something to just bring that little bit of pop, and so I thought an ivory cane, which brought the white original outfit, bringed it over. It's not canon, people. Just do it for fun. It's design. Make it look good. And then that's why I also gave the cream colored belt. And so you have those two tones that carries the original design over into the new design.
And when I look at it, it's almost as if it's like still like they're holding on to that innocence from the start before they even died. Like they've gone through so much, changing their hair color to try to hide more, trying and just it's like there's still that hope of wonder and just that last bit of hope is still there and it's still strong.
The cane is tied to their parents, right? So like it just
The cane,
there's that element of childhood as well.
the cane's tied to everything.
And with
Thanks,
that,
beauties.
Aw.
with that, do I have it? Oh, shit, snacks. I realized I forgot to do something.
Do you have Durant?
Oh no, I do have that. Then we have this lovely group shot, which I crapped my pants when I saw the addition of one of my characters here.
I did not. I feel a lot of DMs get left out because they have so many NPCs that the artist tends to focus on the core party. And I was like, no, I knew exactly what Durant looked like as soon as we met him. And I'm like, originally, I actually gave Jason the opportunity, but everyone just like piled on and went Durant, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm drawing Durant then.
We took that opportunity from you. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I was thinking of that the other night. It was like, man, I have like 40 some odd characters now that we've done so far. And if I had to pick one that is the standout, just because of what the character meant to all of you guys, like it was tough. There was two in the running, but when I saw the chat and everything from you guys, it was just like, maybe I could Durant Daddy. It was just, okay then.
Zaddy.
I got to draw his little like slight older man paunch, which isn't quite paunch, but it's like there's a little roll there. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm so into it.
It's delicious to look at.
Oh,
Mhm.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I must say I do approve.
And this one we didn't really do a lot of back and forth about character design. I just kind of did it.
And it's like he walked, like it's right out of my brain hole. Like it, like I'm not even kidding, folks. Like I don't remember saying much about his look other than the eye patch and a jacket that had pockets, lots of pockets.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And-
And the rest is just voice. And this is what came out of it.
And I
It's a hard
went
voice.
the voice
Oh,
and just
stop,
like
stop.
I knew he was older looking, so we went for the salt and pepper, and then the jacket. I envisioned it was originally. I couldn't get the jacket, and forgive me, I have seen it, but I didn't love it. It was the first Suicide Squad. Captain Boomerang wears this kind of jacket, and that was the one I thought about. And I was like, yeah, but it's not right. And then I went and found the Blade Runner, the new Blade Runner.
Ryan Gosling's.
That was the jacket. I'm like, this is it. This is the one I want. This is the one I'm gonna use.
And you should have seen the nerdgasm I had when you said that was your inspiration. Knowing now that it was going to be possibly Captain Boomerang, and I got upgraded to Blade Runner.
It was the shape.
shape.
It was the shape. That jacket's not married to that movie.
No.
Thank God. But yeah, I know. Jason typed in the chat that you can now type in any questions you may
Yes.
have about character design. About we'll try to answer things as spoiler free as we possibly can.
Mhm.
Or about design. I probably won't go into technique, just because that's a whole other. That's a big bucket of fish.
Yeah.
That's a whole conversation we're gonna have.
So I will say this. I'll kick it off. While folks in the chat, you can formulate your questions and start putting them in the chat as you go. I got a couple of questions for everyone. So the first one, and again, I'm liking the idea that like everything is considered art in this space, especially when it's coming from character creation and character choices, character motives, all that kind of stuff. I am curious, this far into the game, which is, I think this coming Sunday will be our 14th live episode and overall our 18th session between all of us. So it's not a crucial
17th.
milestone. 17th?
I pulled up the logs, so.
This is why, I only
Fired.
have so much in my brain that I can have all these things. So, with that said,
And
it
mine's
is still.
smooth.
What's that?
I said it's fine. Mine's smooth, so
There you go. There you go.
that's smooth brainy.
So, with that in mind, thus far, with that many sessions between all of us, a lot has occurred. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of craziness, a lot of things like I'm thankful that I surprised you with. But what has been the standout moment for you in the campaign so far for either your character or someone else's? The first thing that pops into your head when you think of like, this was the moment.
The ball.
Yeah, go for it, Fred.
No, just like the entire ball. That was chef kiss all around.
I'll expand on the ball because I know the ball has been the height of heights for pretty much our episodes. Was Colt's father and him having that heartbreaking moment. It was we actually, if we encounter heavy things in the game, we stay online and talk to each other after the game regardless. So when that happened, we were all like, we're totally talking about this for hours, and we check in with each other and make sure everyone's okay. It's like, it is a story, and we are going to touch on themes that can be hard to deal with. And so we do make sure everyone's okay with everything. We've established a baseline of what we want in our game, what we don't want. And I think about it to this day, and it feels like I know we talked about this, and I'm always without words, and I'm like, I loved it. It was hard and it was difficult, but it was beautiful and amazing. And I'm going to carry that memory as if it was a real world memory. It was a fantastic acting moment with a very good friend of mine. And I think that's what makes our game work, is that we really care about and we really trust each other. And that was a real...
Oh,
It was
Now-
chef's kiss, gentle tears.
Yes.
It
The
was
one
really,
thing,
really important and wonderful.
yeah, and I'm not steering this little bit away from it to get away from that, because that, yeah. But I will say, until this game, I never knew about something or had a session 0, which you guys introduced to me. And I think that was what kind of helped me with that, because I know there's always been talk from other campaigns about, we were in the game and then they did this thing and I was not cool with it, and people express it at the table or afterwards, and then it just got ugly and it dissolved from there. From the get-go, everyone in this party kind of put forth, like, here's where our limits are, here's what I'm comfortable with, here's what I'm not. And as someone who's trying to write a story for this group of people, that is essential, because you can now know, like, okay, I can't touch into this space, I can touch into this space, I can do that. So going into it, like Chuck was saying, it can be a very touchy, sensitive subject, and it could come off really bad. But knowing from the session 0 what I could and could not tap into, that gave me space to kind of play in there. That said, I also have to be mindful that, hey, we're sharing this with the world, and that's safe space for us, maybe not so safe for other people out there. So it was nerve-wracking to kind of be like, this would be a good moment and a good character idea to show for my friend to interact with, but also be mindful of the folks out there who are watching it. So thank God for session 0s. That's all I gotta say.
Mm-hmm.
that's fun. We have a question in chat.
We do? Oh,
Yes.
it's from Nora.
Nura asks, from where in Tal'Dorei are each of your characters from? Of course, if it is still a secret, that's okay.
Nora, it took so long for these fuckers to actually admit to each other where the fuck they're from. I literally had to put them in a room in a truth spell, and I still only got 2 of them to tell each other where they're from. Go ahead.
thought where
I
I
think-
was
I think-
from was obvious. Come on.
So let's go around. Let's start top to bottom on the screen here. We'll go Virya. Where are you from?
Well, we don't really have, an exact location for it yet, but we know that Virya's from somewhere off the coast of Isilra. So she's not from Tal'Dorei, actually. She sailed over from, the coast of, like, a few islands off the coast of Isilra, kind of like at the same height of Vasselheim, for those familiar with Exandria and Critical Role. So she's pretty much an outsider on Tal'Dorei. She hasn't been there for very long, and I really like playing that up in game as well. We saw that a lot at the ball, and
Now, correct me if
Oh my
I'm
God.
wrong. You did name the
I did let it slip for those who were paying attention. She's from a group of islands called the Adavern Enclave, more precisely from an island called Skjalfell, which is an original location I came up with because we did not have Tal'Dorei Reborn yet, and we know nothing about that area of Exandria, so...
just got an email coming to your mailbox soon. Yeah.
So sorry, Matt Mercer, I violated your world
I
building.
think-
Oh,
Matt
I am
Mercer would
violating
be
Matt Mercer
happy.
every time we stream. Trust me. And I'm not taking
Matt
it
would be
back.
proud, and I think that was his intent, was that we're allowed to expand
Yes.
on this place that he's created.
hmm So
Uh,
going
he
down-
follows me on Twitter.
Hey! He liked one of my comments one time. Hey! All right, down from there we got Rose. Rose, where you from, girl?
I think it took Rose like 10 sessions to finally say that she's from the Riffimus jungle. So Rose
Deep
is actually a
south.
wood elf, so she's from the jungle, wood elf. There you go.
Right on.
That's all we get.
Yes.
Well, I mean, that's all there is.
For now.
Not a
Maybe.
mystery at all.
Cult, where are you from?
I'm putting gloss on.
Nagheim, where are you
mean-
from?
I mean,
I am smooth.
Nagheim is, wow, why can't I think of words? From Jorhas,
Mhm.
where the Drow in this world are originally from. And then made a pit stop. I can't remember where we agreed on. but I
Turst
believe it was
Fields.
No, before that. I believe the place before that was destroyed or something around it was because they were attacked and then they.
Well, I kind of
Escape to
came up with
Turstfield.
something, and it's, yeah, you'll see.
Yeah, they have they know of and have been very open. They had to escape with their mother from where they were from.
Mhm.
So 3 places, but also 1, but 3 places.
Essentially 2,
yeah.
though. Yeah.
Well, I guess
Round it
2
up to
now.
5.
Just wrapped it up
Yeah,
to 5.
there we go.
But
All
yeah,
right.
so-
So now, oh, everybody, look at Cult's lips. They look so glamorous and glossy for some reason. It's crazy. Cult, where are you from?
If you got it, flaunt it, baby. So yeah, Colt's from Singorn. We've been to his family home. He grew up there. So Singorn. I imagine Pop was away on campaigns and whatnot. So I think he's probably only been to a handful of places around Central Tal'Dorei. Maybe further. We don't know. We kind of just make it up as we go. I do. I think I have 2 pages of backstory and everyone else has novels because I just make it up.
Hey
I'm
now.
like, let's see if
Hey
this works.
now. The dream
And then occasionally
is over.
I'll send notes to Jason and I'm like, I think this might have happened. And he goes, oh goody. Let's write it into the story.
Look,
I'm like,
At
I'm not
least you're
committed
giving
to
him
it.
stuff.
You know,
I just gave him an
I
outline and said, "Fuck it."
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Backed away.
I got to a point, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm sorry to anybody out there, where a lot of the times I'm like writing and I've got a good idea, and then I'll see like a message. Oh, I just thought about this about my character. Da, 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 da. Good for you. I went this way.
Too bad.
Yeah. Oh, what's that?
That's a
The person who's
deadline.
going to be like the ultimate betrayal for you? That's a good person now? No, it fucking isn't. And that's not an in-canon representation. I'm just using that as an imaginary thing, situation-wise, to let you know that, you know, whatever. Fuck it. Anyway, hey, so we got 2 of the 4 from my previous question. And then we're going to jump back into chat, see if they've got another question for us. Ari and Xander, favorite moments from the campaign so far?
Oh, right.
So hard to choose. Well, I mean, I'll echo what everyone said and say that the ball was just extremely fun to roleplay through. But I think something that personally affected me very much was Cult and Nagheim actually dying. Like, that was the one moment where I'm thinking back on it and my mind just went blue screen of death. Like,
Oh, bless.
like I just, yeah, you were asking me to act, and I just basically, for those who weren't there, Jason was asking Viria to make a decision between Colt and Nagheim, and she couldn't, and our evil DM ended up killing both. And yeah, I just,
Well, Nagheim died because of dice.
yeah,
I rolled a nat 1, and then I think it was
I
like a
just-
4.
yeah, no, I remember very well, just straight up going into shock and just staring into the void for a good 5 minutes after that.
I will admit that I didn't feel good at the time, and I felt
So thanks
even
for the trauma, Jason.
yeah, exactly. I watch every stream back afterwards because anyone who's done the DM thing, you're in the zone, you're concentrating on so many things that are going on at once that you miss out on a lot of things that are going on between the players because you're so in your zone, right? So I'll usually watch everything afterwards so I can pick up on little nuances that I missed throughout all the players, their expressions, what they're saying, what they're doing, and the chat room, all your comments as well. I read every one of your comments. But nothing broke my heart more than seeing the evil DM move of making a player choose who of their friends was going to die.
So good, though.
And then taking that decision away from them and seeing the look on Ari's face. Like, there are moments where I'll think back on the campaign, and when my brain goes to that point, I'm like, I'm a terrible human being.
No,
So good.
it's evil, but I love it.
Oh.
Yes, I'm glad you
This is
committed
the
to
kind
it.
of high stakes I love.
And
Yeah,
see, this is
in
the
like
thing.
my stories.
Yeah, like I
So.
was saying before, there was that touchy moment between Cult and her father, his father, excuse me, that could have been a don't fly zone. Like, don't cross this line in the sand. The one with Ari wasn't planned, and it just happened. And to see the look on her face, I thought I crossed a line. That, yeah, it was just horrible for me. I'm
No,
glad
it
it
was
stood out for you.
just-
Oh.
Yeah, no, it was just it wasn't like a line cross. It was just so unexpected. And like when you watch like a show or read a book or whatever, and you spectate on those moments, actually living one of those moments as my character was so no, it was great. Don't get me wrong.
It was like watching you, like the static. It was just static on your eyes when you were trying to I don't know had you not hesitated and said one of our names, I'd be like, okay, we're gonna talk about this later. But it was just
No,
like,
and
You
I
choose who lives
genuinely,
tonight,
I was
Nagheim.
who would you
panicking because no, like picking one was out of the question, and I was panicking because I was trying to think of like, okay, like what's something I can do to save both of them, and like I was devastated when I couldn't, and then Jason told me, well, there's nothing you could have done anyway. I was like, okay, at least like I didn't completely fuck up as a player, you know.
No, that was those rare opportunities where in the moment it was like, oh, I can make this guy a real villain with this one idea that just popped into my brain. And I was like, okay, here we go. And that's what happened. Yeah. Nagheim,
douche chills.
their favorite moment in the game.
I have
And we-
3.
You have 3.
Well, of course, the entire death scene. But mine are all very greedy moments. It wasn't everything going on, as amazing as it all was. Just the little description you gave me as Nagheim was being resurrected.
I don't listen to myself
Because-
talk, so I don't know what.
Like the feeling of it's not time and the way everything looked, it made me feel like in the moment, like, and this was really the moment I knew I was like, I have to be a cleric as well, because I felt, as with the description, it felt almost as if Nagheim was being cradled in Shar's realm. Just how it felt and was described, I was like, to me as a player, it felt like there was just so much more to the backstory that, because again, I don't know I know my backstory, but I don't know my backstory. So everything I figure out as we play is as genuine reaction because I have no idea what the hell is actually happening. It's great. And then one of the other ones was when Nagheim was talking with Cult and showing Cult at the back of their book that they have a description and notes written on all 3 of their friends. So that way they'll never forget them, no matter what happens.
Oh, every time you bring that up, it breaks me a little bit.
Oh.
And of course, Nagheim's time with Shar was like the turning point for this character, and getting that or not just social anxiety, but getting the anxiety to actually stop and prevent this character from spiraling every session.
What's that? A black cloaked individual?
Kill Bill sirens.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da.
Literally anything happens, panic mode.
And I gotta say, like, we're naming very specific moments, but also like any interaction we have between us as players in character are just
Good.
so good. Like, I just can't get over like the chemistry we all have and how easy it is to play off of one another.
Oh.
I've never seen this. I've never had this like in a D&D group, honestly. So
I've been blown away by the fact that
Chemistry.
one of us puts something down, the other one, before it hits the ground, picks it up and just keeps going. It's like a beautiful relay race, and everyone knows how to pass the baton. And Jason, you are so good at wrangling us and
Oh my god. yeah.
joining us. Like, it's all even Stevens. It's like you put a lot of work into this, and it fucking shows.
you put a lot of work into this. Come on.
I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm just a guy, you know.
I'm just a
doing
little
thing.
guy, just doing my D&D.
Guys, I am very
No.
uncomfortable with comments. Let's move on.
Cat,
Compliments,
shot,
not
maybe
comments.
Take a shot.
Yeah. No, I'll say something to that, which is that until this group, I did not I've never had an experience where, as a player or a one-time DM for my family, as a player, you know, you give a lot into the DM's hands, and then it's up to them to kind of weave a bit of a story and then everybody else to come together. And I've played in a lot of groups where there wasn't a lot of role play. It was, let's get to the next task, let's do this, let's get our experience points, and let's move on with it. And I've also had, you know, experiences with DMs where it's like, hold on, 10 minutes later, we solve a role for a challenge rating or something like that. And it's just, it's not the best. And then doing the one shot with my family there, I was on the high of Critical Role, and I thought, you know, wouldn't it be cool to share this kind of experience with my family? And and they had no clue about D&D or anything like that. I was like pulling the strings, and I was just, it was like I was telling a story for my own benefit. Then I come to this group, and I came into it with the idea that, okay, I've got all these characters, all their stories. I can lay down tracks for them, and wherever they take the story, that's it. It's the first time we all collaborated on telling this story, and I've never had that before. And so you say I put in a lot of work and everything. Most of the work has been done for me because of all the little breadcrumbs that you guys have left me. And I'm just picking one up and going, oh, look, a breadcrumb. You know? So at no point do I think like, oh yeah, I'm steering this ship. No, it is absolutely a collaborative effort all the way.
It's I know I always do metaphors, but it's like one has given the fabric, one has the needle, one has the thread, one has the buttons, and you are the seamstress. Or is that an outdated reference too?
I'm the fly, if
I
anything.
mean, we all, the other three of us so. See what I did there? So.
I'm taking away a point of inspiration.
And I think
Nice.
No, I'm not.
I think we've done so well is because we know when to leave something behind and move on, and we also know when to, this is a moment to dwell upon, as well as Jason and all of you are just so engaging to watch. I watch my own stream, which is really weird to say, but
It sounds narcissistic, but
it does. But I'm like, I want to relive that moment again because it was. I have been mentally churning what's going to happen with Catalina since Sunday.
Mm.
And it's just this constant buzz in my head. And I'm like, what if this happens? What if this happens? Oh my God, how is he going to react? Oh, I better think about, if this happens, he's going to react like this. And it's just like I'm so invested. I'm so invested. And it's like, how is he going to talk to Viria if something happens with Catalina? And it's just like, his layers. But also, one more thing I know I talk a lot, but
No.
and Critical Role is going to start in 20 minutes,
Yep.
is I really like when our characters fight. It's so strange, but so far, Cult's had sort of spats with notably Nagheim and Rose, and knowing that behind the character, my friends are loving it, and I don't feel that worried. I'm like, okay, no, they know this is all acting, and then the make-em-ups afterwards. Oh,
I know.
I love it so much.
It makes it even better when we get to makeup.
Oh God, it really does, and it just touches my soul. Okay.
Oh yeah, no. I am just so happy to be included since I wasn't one of the originals. I was brought in after, and it makes me so happy because like I play D&D with Ari, and I am also Ari's other GM. But before I was the GM, and even now as the GM, when we would play, our group isn't the biggest role players. So a lot of the role playing was always happening between Ari and I, or us trying to push it on people. And even now with as a GM, I try to do stuff and they don't always grab it, and Ari does, and it just feels so nice to be somewhere where I'm not thinking, am I doing too much? Am I taking up too much? Because all of us enjoy each other's roleplay, even if it's not involving us. Like, everybody genuinely enjoys it. So once we start roleplaying, if someone can join in, they do, and no one's just left sitting there going, okay, I do this, and I'm done. People
My
like
turn, you know.
go in, they do it, they enjoy, they interject, they know when not to, and sometimes when you don't expect someone to and they do, you're like, this is perfect, I love it, give me more.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
Feed me.
But
So
yeah, I'm just so happy to be included.
I've had
Happy to
like
be
love
here.
one-shot
Aw.
experiences where the roleplay was really great, and coincidentally, it involved both Fred and Xander. So, but yeah, those one-shots we had with Mia and Quincy were great
Oh,
as well. So
so good.
One day, maybe we'll be able to tell you the tale of Fog and Shog, and maybe Squish Squash.
Oh my god, Squish Squash.
the names alone.
legacy characters.
Legacy characters who are legendary. But yeah, I think from the get-go we were all really passionate about like wanting to role play, and like, none of us, like, you know, sometimes you play D&D with some people and it's like really people who want to like min max, and it's kind of like a video game but like in real life, and like none of us are play like that. We really want to like take the time to like seize the moment, and what is my character, how do
What
they
do you
how do they
mean?
feel.
But that's the thing.
Nagheim is
There's
stacked in strength.
But there's nothing wrong with that type of gameplay. It's just that going back to the whole session 0 and setting expectations, that's something we all discussed before we even started playing.
Yeah.
Like, okay, what are we expecting out of a D&D
Yeah.
game?
I
So-
love combat, but if there's no, reason to fear it, like I really like combat.
Yeah,
But
it's
it's-
fun.
You need that nice layer of playing down first, and then you sprinkle the combat on.
Yeah.
And see, that's another thing where it kind of ties into, again, with all of us, where we're deconstructing the norms, so to speak. From the get-go, when we did the session 0, I forget what section it was, but it gave you a scale of 1 to 10, I think, of like what, for lack of a better term, what turns you on about like playing D&D. And pretty much everyone was like maximum RPG, role-playing kind of thing. And surprisingly to me was that combat was very low on most everybody's scale. And there were other elements in there too that I'm forgetting right now. But that more than anything kind of guided me as to like how I was going to write the story for you guys going forward. So I knew there was going to be some combat, but to amp it up on the RP kind of side of it. And so when battles do happen, it's not just like, oh, you're on the road. Well, now a pack of dire wolves are coming at you. What you going to do? Let's fight. It's nothing like that. It's more like there's a reason why you're going and putting your life on the line in this situation. There's a reason why this person is after you now. There's a reason why this big bad evil guy is a ways away, and you go, there's reasons for everything. It's not just like you bumblefuck your way into like a combat again, and to throw everybody off their guard a little bit too is how I set up the first actual encounter, which was, and unfortunately it's not on stream. This is something that happened before we started live streaming, but I set up an encounter that had an interesting villain, but was easy to complete. So it gave the players a sense of confidence in their abilities and thinking like, oh, we can do anything. And then the next thing they run into is something far beyond their level. And I made them shit their pants.
Oh yeah. But
So
we ducked and weaved through that. We're
Yeah.
like, no, we're just not gonna face that.
so
No, but yeah, like the keyword was balance, right? Like
Yeah.
random encounters are fine. Like I enjoy them. It's just that it can't be just random encounter after random encounter after random encounter just for the sake of like
Mhm.
being in combat all the time.
Yeah, for example, you get like, oh, it takes this many days to travel there. maybe you get one encounter and it's like, then it's sitting by a fire. It's like, so why do you look for surrogate father figures, Cult? Well,
Cult.
since you asked that question, would you hold my hand while we talk about it? That's
Yes,
what
Cult,
I
I
want.
will hold your hand.
Oh my god. I'm so excited.
Now,
But
Oh.
just so you know,
oh yeah, I'm looking at the time there.
Yeah.
dying right now.
I've got a few minutes before we're going to sign off here. And by few, I mean literally probably 3. Last question for everybody. What is a fact about your character that you can share that probably won't ever come up in the game?
Oh, I know.
Yep.
Rose only recently shaved her head.
Oh, that is interesting. Oh my gosh, that's really interesting.
And I welcome you to the club, my friend.
Yes, that character design was entirely based on you, Jason.
No,
It was not.
no, not at all. No.
You're both very
Rose
pretty.
is way too pretty.
Oh my goodness, I don't know. Oh, the scar he got is from when him and Nell were playing swords when they were little.
Aw.
Yeah.
Well, I
and
mean,
it's-
not because, children getting injured, but
It was
still.
a wooden
Aw.
sword. It was
Aw.
a wooden
A1's
sword
brain
that,
went
that
there, but
cracked him
thanks, sorry.
in the face. It knocked out one of his baby tusks.
Oh,
I love it.
oh my god. That's adorable.
Well-
I'm
Nagheim taught themselves how to dream because as a kid, kids would always talk about their dreams. And that's actually what led Nagheim towards time, because they would dream about being able to change it. So whenever they close their eyes, they just imagine different timelines of their own life, because they don't actually know what dreaming fully is, because they do not experience it. But they taught themselves a way to replicate it, the feeling of it.
Aww.
I love our sliver wizard. So precious.
well, okay, I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm just gonna go with a fun one. Viria really, for some reason unknown to everyone, really likes to eat her toast near charred, burnt. And
Oh my god, I can
it's
picture
just it's just no one knows, but that's how she prefers her toast. Not just well grilled, just fucking black.
Charcoal.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I love that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh.
Amazing. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call it for tonight. Everyone in the chat, thank you so much for tuning into this stream. I can tell you right now, we're probably going to do a few more streams like this on various different topics and everything. I know personally I got one in mind that would be a lot of fun. Actually, I got a few, but we'll touch on that later. We'll probably let you know when those are going to happen on our regular show, which is on Sundays, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And other than that, we're going to go to the
great.
bathroom and then watch some Critical Role.
I'm so
Hopefully
glad I
you can
could have
sing.
made it on time.
Yes!
We're gonna be rating
Yes.
Epic Fumbles.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
gonna be rating Epic Fumbles. Epic Fumbles is a channel that also does D&D. They are our friends, so if you're done watching us and you're not watching Critical Role, please go watch them.
You bet. You bet.
Great, another great group local to where
love
Xander,
them.
Fred, and I are from Montreal. Well, Quebec. They're not all from Montreal. Anyway, but yeah.
There was one
indie
more
brothers and
question.
sisters.
Oh, there was?
I think this is regarding to Vera.
Oh.
Viria, does she eat her pan d'ores the same way?
I'm
I
so glad
apologize,
the not French
French-speaking
person
world.
asked it.
That's French toast, and that's my friend Mary. She doesn't. What the fuck is French toast? That's all I'm gonna say.
What the fuck? What the fuck is it?
What the fuck is it? I don't freaking know. I don't eat fancy schmancy stuff like that.
Bullshit! I am the DM and I made fancy French toast in game. She knows what the fuck it is.
And
It's
I'm
true.
gonna make it for you all in real life
Yes. Yes.
one day.
More news about that
All
soon
right.
enough. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I hope you all have a great night. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for the questions. Thank you, Nicola Nora, for your great designs, which will be showing
I'm
up
so
soon.
excited for the emotes.
Oh my God. And we will see you guys on Sunday. Have a good night. Have
Goodbye.
safe